We're going to stay with the earnings parade, Scarlett. We got some numbers from Corning this morning, second quarter numbers that beat estimates. Corning, the world's biggest maker of glass for flat panel televisions. We're joined now by the CFO, James Flaws, with some reaction to those numbers. Now, James, going into this quarter, there were some concerns about the inventory picture, whether or not there was too much supply out there. It would seem that these numbers suggest things are actually not too bad out there, but what can you tell us about that?
Well, we had a terrific quarter. All of our business units were up over last year, and most were up sequentially. We saw very good growth in the LCD business, reflecting that end demand was quite strong. I think worldwide televisions are still growing year over year in the 30% range. There is some concern about inventories. We think we'll see a very minor utilization pullback by a few customers in the third quarter to make sure that they don't overbuild. But the good news is end demand is still very strong.
All right, give us some specifics on that demand, because everybody knows China is a massive market for you, and I would imagine it looks like, again, this quarter, it was the biggest appetite market around the globe.
We just have the month of June results in for China on television. Televisions are up 38%. Over the last 3 months, they've averaged up 40%. So we're seeing great growth in there. Also in Japan and in Europe, we had very strong results, perhaps driven by the World Cup. The only weakness that we've seen over the last couple of months has been in the United States. We think part of that is related to the digital transition a year ago, but clearly a little softening for television demand in the United States. The rest of the world, very strong.
James, a lot of people worry about what happens down the road, the dependence on the LCD TV business. You guys have something in your back pocket. Gorilla Glass is something you've been talking a lot about. I don't think anybody really knows what Gorilla Glass is, but it is harder, more resistant glass that's used for things like iPhones and iPads. What are your expectations for how big that business will get?
Well, the business last year was about $75 million. It'll triple this year to about $250 million. We think it could reach $1 billion next year. It's two products, the cover glass for smartphones and slate devices. And then we expect to see them on covers on televisions next year also, as companies go to the frameless design. So we think we could approach $1 billion in revenue, basically 4 times up what we're doing this year for next year.
It's a big number. James, thanks for your time this morning. That's James Flaws, who's the Chief Financial Officer of Corning, which just reported its results.